The vote had been unanimous. 812 species, one decision, Earth would serve. Ambassador Rachel Martinez had stood alone in the Grand Assembly as the verdict was read. Humanity was too violent for membership, too primitive for partnership, but perfect for labor. Their physical endurance, their adaptability, their strange ability to survive on almost any world. These traits made them ideal slaves. You have 7 solar cycles to prepare your population for integration into the galactic service structure. The Prime Arbiter had declared. Resistance will result in planetary sterilization. Rachel had nodded, her face unreadable. We understand. We'll need those 7 cycles to prepare. Now, 3 cycles later, the Prime Arbiter's crystalline form flickered with what might have been confusion as he reviewed the reports. What do you mean, complete economic collapse? The Vexery trade minister's tendrils drooped. The humans, they stopped buying things. All of them, everywhere, simultaneously. That's impossible. No species can coordinate. They call it boycotting. The minister interrupted, unprecedented desperation in their voice. Every human on every world, in every trade port, they've stopped purchasing anything from council species. Our corporations are hemorrhaging profits. The Kethery Consortium has already declared bankruptcy. The Prime Arbiter turned to the Zephyrin security chief. Then seized their assets. Force compliance. The security chief's exoskeleton rattled nervously. We tried. They had already moved everything. Converted all holdings to physical commodities on human ships. They're calling it economic guerrilla warfare. We don't even understand half of what they're doing. Something about short selling and derivative markets. Then we blockade Earth, the Prime Arbiter commanded. With what ships? The Gorvani admiral's forearms gestured helplessly. Every human engineer in the galaxy quit simultaneously. Do you know how many of our vessels relied on human maintenance crews? They work in conditions other species can't tolerate. Half our fleet is grounded. The other half is trying to figure out what humans meant by technical documentation is above your clearance level. A murmur rippled through the assembly. The Etherian representative phased into visibility. The medical situation is catastrophic. Human doctors and researchers comprised 40% of our pandemic response teams. They've all returned to Earth. The sickness is spreading through 17 systems. We have our own doctors, who refuse to enter contaminated zones. Humans were the only species insane enough to run toward plague worlds. They called it Doctors Without Borders or something equally irrational. The Prime Arbiter's form pulsed erratically. This is coordinated rebellion. We voted. The decision was legal. Rachel Martinez stepped forward from where she'd been standing, silent until now. 3 cycles of preparation had changed her. Where once stood a diplomat now stood something else. Something that made 800 species unconsciously step back. You voted to enslave us, she said quietly. Did you think we'd just accept it? We've been slaves before. To each other. We know how this works. We also know how to break it. You cannot fight the combined might of fight. Rachel laughed, the sound sharp as glass. Why would we fight? You need us. We don't need you. Every supply chain, every technical system, every hazardous job. You've spent centuries letting humans handle it because we're built for it. Your own vote admitted we're essential. She pulled up a holographic display. Mining operations in the Kepler sector, shut down. No humans willing to work the deep cores. Terraforming projects on 30 worlds. Abandoned. No humans to manage the atmospheric processors. Your space stations in contested zones? Good luck maintaining them without the only species stupid enough to do EVA repairs during solar storms. We'll force you. You'll try. Rachel's smile was winter cold. But here's something you didn't consider when you voted. Humans hold grudges. We wrote entire epic poems about grudges. We have a saying, forgive your enemies, but remember their names. Every human child now knows the name of every species that voted to enslave them. The assembly erupted in panicked discussion. The Silicate Collective's representative finally broke through the noise. What do you want? Full membership, reparations for the insult, trade agreements favorable to Earth for the next 50 cycles, and a formal apology from every species, broadcast across the galaxy. This is extortion. This is consequences, Rachel corrected. You voted based on what you thought humans were, primitive laborers too disorganized to resist. You were wrong. We're vindictive, coordinated, and we've turned passive resistance into an art form. Your choice. Apologize and negotiate, or watch your civilizations collapse from the bottom up. The vote for Earth's full membership was unanimous. Later, as she walked through the council halls wearing the robes of a full member, Rachel passed the Vexery trade minister. How? They whispered. How did your entire species coordinate so perfectly? Rachel smiled. Group chats. Very, very large group chats.